to deliver some remarks and
Thank
perhaps
you,
take
thank you,
reporters'
Sean,
questions.
and,
Let's
good
take a
morning.
look and listen.
It is a momentous day before a historic day, and I'm pleased to have a chance to report to the American people and to all of you the progress that we have made at the President-elect's direction, preparing a team that will be ready to serve the American people and make America great again on day one. I'm grateful to be with all of you today. Before I give you a brief summary, let me first express our thoughts and prayers on behalf of the President-elect and myself for President Bush and Barbara. They're on the hearts of every American. This morning, we understand they had a good night last night, but we encourage every American to remember President Bush and his wonderful wife, Barbara, in their prayers. 72 days ago, we elected Donald Trump to be the 45th President of the United States of America. 71 days ago, Donald Trump set an ambitious schedule prior to this inauguration, and he asked me to chair the transition effort. And I was grateful and honored to be given the opportunity to do just that. When we took over, I was impressed, frankly, with the work that Governor Christie and the transition team had done prior to the election. More than 170 interviews had already been done prior to Election Day. And I'm pleased to report that as of this morning's announcement for our Secretary of Agriculture, all 21 cabinet nominees have been named. 27 total individuals have been named that require the consent of the Senate, and we have 536 beachhead team members that will be reporting for duty at agencies following the inauguration bright and early on Monday morning. There are many people to thank in this regard, and I'm really here just to do that. There is a memorandum that will be in your possession by the end of this briefing that I'll be conveying to the President-elect today to give him a full report on the transition efforts and the progress that we've made, but allow me to give you a couple of top lines. In addition to the hundreds of interviews and meetings that the President-elect has conducted in the course of this transition, I'm pleased to report that the presidential appointments team has conducted more than 170 interviews prior to the election. More than 200 people since the election have sat down with what we call our Tiger teams for full vetting and full review. I'm happy to say the interest of the American people in this administration has been overwhelming. More than 86,000 resumes have been submitted to the transition and over 4,000 candidate referrals. And on the eve of the inauguration, as I mentioned, our beachhead teams are ready to land and go to work in these various agencies of the incoming administration. On legislative affairs, we organized more than 90 volunteers to create and execute a confirmation strategy to support the 27 publicly announced Senate confirmed nominees. Designees attended so far more than 370 visits with senators, and will continue to work very, very closely to support their efforts as they move toward confirmation. There's been work on agency action, as I mentioned. Policy implementation, though, has also been very brisk in the course of this transition. Specifically, we focused at the President-elect's direction on a Day 1, a Day 100, and a Day 200 action plan for keeping our word to the American people and putting the President-elect's promises into practice. 14 policy implementation teams attracted over 110 active team participants. Additionally, 90 experts have been serving in an advisory capacity as we formulated executive action and legislative policy to pursue the goals of this administration. In addition to that, we've been listening. We established through the course of the transition the Office of Nationwide Engagement, ONE for short, and they've been busy. 28 listening sessions conducted December 1 through January 13, 22 business days, met with and heard top policy issues and concerns from more than 1,200 organizations, associations, and various interests and entities. There's an awful lot of people to thank, and there's more details that you'll see in the memorandum that I'll be conveying to the President-elect today. But let me begin by expressing my appreciation, first and foremost, to President Barack Obama and Vice President Joe Biden. The cooperation that the outgoing administration has extended in this transition effort would make every American proud. And I know the President-elect has expressed his appreciation, not just for the hospitality, but for the collaboration of this administration in supporting our team's transition efforts, and I would reiterate that today. Also very grateful to the GSA Administrator, Denise Turner-Roth, and her outstanding team here at GSA for the work that they've done to support our efforts. Also grateful for the Vice Chairs and the Executive Committee of the transition effort who have put in very long hours. A number of them are with us today. Ben Carson is with us, Rudy Giuliani, Jeff Sessions, Marsha Blackburn, Tom Reed represent a part of the Vice Chair team, and we express our appreciation on behalf of the President-elect for the many, many hours that you put in helping us to assemble this Day One team. We also express appreciation to the members of our Executive Committee who donated literally hundreds of hours in assisting us in preparing the recommendations to the President-elect over the course of this. Lastly, I've just two more things to mention. Number one is just to thank my team. You know, there's an old saying that when you see, back in Indiana, when you see a box turtle on a fence post, one thing you know for sure is they had help getting there. And I can tell you that while it's been my privilege to chair this transition effort, the team that we've had around us and the extraordinary 7-day-a-week hours that they've put into this effort is greatly to their credit. I want to specifically thank the Executive Director, Rick Dearborn, who's done a masterful job. Extremely grateful for the energetic leadership of our incoming White House Chief of Staff, Ryan Priebus, incoming General Counsel at the White House, Don McGahn, literally working almost around the clock in supporting the efforts of this transition effort. For our team here, Bill Haggerty on presidential appointments, Ron Nickel on agency action, Otto Machito and Andrew Bremberg on policy, Jamie Burke and Elizabeth Pinkerton on personnel, Eric Euland on legislative affairs, and a balance of a team that would make anyone proud. The progress that we have made in the course of this transition and the extraordinarily brisk pace with which it's been conducted is a tribute to the integrity and the work ethic of these men and women. And I know the President-elect is grateful for their efforts, and as chair, I am as well. Ken Nahagian is taking over as Executive Director to wind down the transition. The Office of White House Personnel will take over the official duties as we continue in the weeks and months ahead to fill out the balance of the administration. But this is the team that got us here to this day at the direction of the President-elect. Lastly, I'm especially pleased, and I know the President-elect is especially pleased, that we're wrapping up this transition on schedule and under budget. We will actually return some 20% of taxpayer funding back to the U.S. Treasury, and that is just exactly in keeping with the President-elect's expectations going forward. He is a businessman that knows how to sharpen his pencil, and I'm very pleased to report today that we were able to do that and restore those dollars to the Treasury. Let me say I've been very honored to serve as chair of the transition effort, but all that we've accomplished here, credit goes to a great team, our volunteers, literally hundreds and hundreds of volunteers who've put in hours and hours to support this effort, our executive committee, our vice chairs, our staff, but really the credit, I can tell you, goes to our President-elect. Sometimes people stop me on the street and they say, "How are you holding up? I can't imagine how busy you are." And I just tell them, well, you just have to understand that the energy and the enthusiasm of Donald Trump is contagious. And it's been his energy and his expectation that's driven this transition effort. I'm proud to say to be at a place where we've named our entire cabinet before we reach that historic day tomorrow. Our job really was to make sure the President-elect had the opportunity to make decisions, to assemble the team around him that will make America great again, and I'm humbled to have been a small part of that. Our job is to be ready on day one. The American people can be confident that we will be. So let me say to all of you, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. It's going to be a very humbling and moving day for the President-elect, his family, and for mine. But let me tell you, we are all ready to go to work. In fact, we can't wait to get to work for the American people to make America great again. So thank you very much, and we'll provide that information for you at the end of the briefing. Thanks.